discuss with you before we wrap it up is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I finished it today. It was not bad. It feels like, once again, a Marvel film cut up into pieces, because usually Marvel films start out with like the action scene first, to get into the groove of things, to hype you up, set up, and then later down the line, bad guy reveal, action scene, brooding, and then final action scene. That seems like what we're gonna get here.
It's so odd because I was watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Justice League, and my criticism of Justice League is the fact that there are these scenes that don't seem to be connected, where you're just like, where are these? Why is this scene here? What's going on? And Falcon and the Winter Soldier does the same thing. Like, there's a whole bunch of disconnected scenes, but at the same time, when you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it feels like the plot is moving forward, like you feel like it's going somewhere, even though they're like Falcon and the Winter Soldier don't even meet in the first episode. And we're kind of only vaguely aware of a villain, but at the same time, like the whole time I was like, this is really interesting stuff. Like, you feel like the story is going forward, even though, it's not so much as, you say, if you watched a movie, you'd be like, oh man, I've watched 45 minutes and Falcon has been denied a loan and Winter Soldier goes on a really fucking bad date, but at the same time, I was like, the whole episode, I was like, this is awesome. This is awesome stuff. Like, it was fascinating to see like how people lived post snap and how they were dealing with their lives and things like that. I don't know why it worked for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but not, like I said, the Snyder Cut was better, but I still think it's, really got some major problems. I don't know. What do you think is the element that makes like the Marvel movie like better, when it seems to be like, like nothing really happens, right? In that first episode.
Nothing happens, but it has that Marvel charm of not taking itself too seriously, and it's fun. I'm also fucking shocked and amazed that a superhero, or a hero in general, that has fought alongside the Avengers and is of some significant importance in events, is going to a fucking therapist. That shocks and amazes me. This motherfucker went to a therapist, and somewhat of a Jesus, but he went to a therapist and then has the audacity to be the friend of a guy whose son he killed. And I will say this, I keep forgetting that he's also like, he has the same problem that Captain had in like the first couple of films, where he's just a fish out of water in the new timeline.
Yeah.
He's never had a chance.
106 years old.
Right. He's never had a chance to like chill, like sit down and chill out, and like,
he mentioned that like, I had a couple months in Wakanda to chill out, and other than that, nothing.
Oh, that's right, he did. But it's Wakanda.
No, he said that was it. That was like the only bright point of his life, like since the war. Man, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. Like, Winter Soldier's had a rough life, and but it says a lot about like our society that Winter Soldier's, he's a pretty manly man, cool guy, but he goes to therapy, and that's fine. Like 20 years ago, people would have been like, therapy, nah, that's for wimps. Manly man can't go to therapy. But now, it's perfectly fine that a guy goes to therapy.
So there's not much to talk about in regards to Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's only the first episode. We're set up with a villain, but we saw in the trailer that Baron Zemo, he's back. He has his signature.
I thought you were going to comment upon like how Falcon is poor. Like, that's what most people were shocked on.
Falcon's
like, how is Falcon's poor?
Not poor. He's taken care of. It's his sister who's poor, and they can't get a loan, which you would think there would be like things in place for people who were snapped out of reality and snapped back in. You think there like would be certain things in there to like hold that up, or in the event they came back, but no, there's nothing like that, which is kind of crazy, but there it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you'd think there'd be something in place, if like there was a pandemic or something. No, like society's fucked, okay? It just hasn't prepared for these sorts of things. I'm surprised that things are going as well as they are, considering that half the people have just come back. Like all of a sudden, like I just think like supply chain, like how are you going to feed all of these people? Like we ramped down the supply chain when you all disappeared, and now you're back. How are you supposed to feed them?
Well, supposedly there's like a terrorist group who believes that the world was better off the way it was back when everybody was gone, with no borders and all that stuff, apparently, and that's like a thing.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because, I mean, right now, like, you know, an anti-nationalistic, borderless, like group that's a somewhat appealing idea. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they frame that, you know, yes, against, you know, our heroes, like, you know, like, do they really have to be like, you know, are Falcon and the Winter Soldier really going to be like, yeah, go Uncle Sam, like the whole time? Like that doesn't seem like their characters either. But I don't know. We'll see. It'll be very interesting.
I can believe that Falcon is poor. I just can't believe that a hero is going to therapy. Like it seems like something that should happen all the time, but it doesn't.
Doesn't. But Captain, he went to therapy.
Did he
too,
go to
yeah?
therapy? I don't remember that.
Didn't okay.
Did he? Was he going to therapy because like he's dealing with trauma, or is he going to therapy to like deal with the fact that he's like 100 and something years old?
Out of time. Yeah, I think it was more that. But I thought he had someone to talk to or something. But you're right. Like, but I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool that they've removing the stigma of you know people getting help, because there's nothing wrong with that, you know.
But no. So Baron Zemo, he's gonna be the villain for. You said there was gonna be 6 episodes, really? Falcon, let me check. The Winter Soldier. Let me see real quick. 6 episodes. I did not expect that at all. I thought there was gonna be 4 episodes actually so far, like confirmed.
Yeah.
All directed by the same guy, Cary Skogland. So there's a new Captain America, John Walker. You're a Marvel guy. Who U.S. agent? That's his like secret identity.
Yeah, no, I actually read Captain America during this period. U.S. agent, he's just kind of they get a new Captain America, and he's just a little more jingoist, like you know, he's not as pure as Steve Rogers. So like he's not a bad guy, but he's not really the greatest guy. And so that's the thing with a U.S. agent. I mean, he and Captain America have had to fight each other a few times. They've teamed up a few times.
Is he like even?
But yeah.
Does he have superpowers?
I think he has. I can't remember if he has a serum or not. Let's see here. But there's a time in which so Captain America gives up the mantle, and Steve Rogers just becomes the captain, and he has a black Captain America suit, while U.S. agent takes on the Captain America role. And then when Steve Rogers goes back, they swap suits, so U.S. agent gets the black uniform. But like I say, he's jingoist, pro-war, like right-wing, hardcore Christian conservative kind of like character. Like this is.
Are we talking about Homelander or this guy? That sounds like Homelander.
Yeah. Well, you know, but that's the thing is his form of patriotism is, and this is a very subtle kind of thing, right? Like when you start talking about the difference between Captain America's patriotism and what we kind of think as bad patriotism, like, and you know, that's what the character kind of represents, like, you know, good, like, you know, Steve Rogers is the type of person that would be like, well, the history of America is about, you know, helping the small guy, and so we've got to, like, you know, help people, and you're like, okay, well, it's not really the history of America, but you know, I like where your heart is, Captain America, you know, like, you know, like, and then there'd be like, you know, these people like, America, love it or leave it. Rah, like, we got to kill any enemies of America, you know, like that. So that's kind of the difference, you know.
So I'm gonna go assume that they're probably gonna fight at the end. Somehow Baron Zemo is gonna maybe turn them against each other. No idea, but so far our first episode was kind of cool. It was I will say the the Falcon stuff was a little boring every now and then. I not to be a jerk, but I really don't care about his financial problems. Just punch a dude. Like that's.
I like the financial problems. I thought him hanging out with War Machine.
That was cool.
Was but I don't remember what they were talking about.
They were talking about like why did Sam give up the shield? The shield was given to him by Steve Rogers, and Sam, I guess he's having trouble coming to grips that should I be the next Captain America? Should I be Steve Rogers 2, the sequel, or should I be my own guy?
He definitely needed someone to talk to, and War Machine was the perfect person to be that ear. Mm-hmm. You know what's funny? You know what part I found the most boring? The opening action sequence.
Really?
In
was
Tunisia.
Okay.
It was fine, but it's funny that I found the rest of it so much more fascinating to see how these guys were living. By the way, Tunisia does not have any canyons that big. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, plus, like, Tunisia's much greener than that. Like, I don't know where they were, but it's like.
Well, it's Tunisia. That's in Africa, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's North Africa. It's very North Africa.
It's Africa, so it's either very green or very canyony. So come on.
yes, of course, very canyony. It's also a very small country. If it had a canyon that big, like it would be a major tourist site. Like people would be like, "Oh my god!" Like that was like the Grand Canyon somehow in Tunisia.
Well, I'm assuming that the entire series is going to be focusing on Sam's decision of whether or not he should have taken the shield, and Bucky coming to terms with what he's done and trying to be a better person. Obviously, that's the catch. With 4 to 6 episodes, I think there might be 4. I think there might be 6. I don't know yet. It looks like 4 so far in Wiki.
Have you ever been on a date and just had the person go, "Excuse me," and then leave?
I don't think I've ever had that. No, and that's
right. Like I'm just that woman's been scarred.
To be fair, she didn't want to play Battleship. I'm like, come on, Battleship. I mean, and it's just so random talking about a guy's dead son during a date. Like,
Guess yeah. I mean, I don't know. The way to a woman's heart is to hang out with some sad old guy
and play Battleship apparently.
Play Battleship.